Oh man. So
It's always Keenan.
everything collapsed the other day, and we freaked out. We were so scared.
I did. I just got out of my bed and cried for an hour.
I didn't notice. It took me like our more advanced in age sales rep from Taylor Guitars like, hey, Baxter, your Instagram is down right now. I need to see your Instagram because we're doing a
You're like,
presentation.
not just mine.
I was like, oh, it is down. I can't load. Yeah, it wasn't working.
No, it wasn't working.
So did yours go
went
down
away.
too?
Everyone's went down. The whole world.
What about Facebook didn't go down, did it?
It did.
There wasn't a whistleblower, was there?
Probably.
There was. Did you not know a whistleblower?
Yeah, it's
Okay, come on.
whatever. It's
I
not a
was
real
being
whistleblower.
facetious.
Whatever.
So everything shut down. Everyone lost their minds for like a moment. We did not at all, actually. I literally did not even notice when this happened.
I noticed.
I
I thought, what secrets is big tech scrubbing from the world right now?
We'll see. We're not going to get into that because it's frankly above our pay grade. But we started thinking, now what would happen if it never turned back on?
Da-dum.
It'd be like the year 2008.
Do you remember that show where they're like,
Yes, I watched a lot of
you watch everything, where like the whole power grid just goes off? It was like Revolution or something.
Yes,
like that.
I only saw like a second of it. I was like, no.
Well, they canceled it. I was going to say, this is kind of like the start of a premise of a TV show where they'd make one season, they'd leave you hanging because it wasn't that good.
And they just
would
never
just
made
go
it.
away. Yeah, that's what happened to that.
Yeah, well, so like you and I started pondering this morning
did.
about it, and I was like, what would happen to us musicians and like guys? I'm not sorry.
That's
about,
particularly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, how, because the world would probably be better otherwise. But
yeah, like, oh no, if you're a teenage girl and you can't like have
Oh,
your
God.
entire self-worth be represented online,
No.
what will you ever do?
that would be horrible.
It'd be terrible if you had to
but-
actually just be a person.
For musicians, I think it would have pretty far-reaching consequences.
I think it would too, and it might be extremely negative at first, and it might be positive later.
I think it could be positive in the long term, and it would probably make like putting a band together or
said
going out being
pudding.
an artist. Pudding.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Don't make fun of my colloquial
I just want pudding.
accents. Pudding. I want pudding too now. God. Anyways, it would make it a more long-term thing, right? You couldn't just do it, throw it online, and it's a thing. You'd have to get out and figure out how to play shows, and it would just be trickier.
Well, you were talking earlier too, like just the organic nature of like having to actually put flyers up.
Well, because now everything is just a Facebook event. I put a Facebook event, then I share that to my story, and then I take pictures, a screenshot of that, and I put it on Instagram, my Instagram stories, and a reel with music behind it, and that's it, right? But
I think putting flyers up is it was a super fun part of my life as a band when I was younger, and we had a street team that did it.
Yeah.
I've gotten to spend time behind bars. I've met a lot of nice guys named Alfred that became really close with me, and I held their pockets. He taught me about the prison life for being arrested for putting on street signs. This is my time in Brooklyn.
But I think that would be, in some ways, that's got to be
You're going to talk about Alfred now? Oh, Alfred Green.
good old Alfred.
He was Baxter, hold my pocket. And I'm like, okay, yes sir, Al. No, but it was really fun. I do remember the joy of like putting them in the little bit of the visceral scare, like having a team out there that actually had to go out and do stuff. It's very localized though.
Well, but
The reach is small.
Maybe that's good though, because sometimes I'll do local shows, right? And I'll have more interest online for people who are across the country that are not coming to my show at the bar down the street. Do you know what I mean? Where if it was flyers in a town, that's the people who are guaranteed to
It's
see
tricky. So if you're like a young and up and coming band, not Jonathan, like you don't want that necessarily.
Old and never came.
Old and never coming.
Oh God,
It's the
sounds so sad.
It could be the autobiography. Yeah. Well,
Better a has been than it never was.
God.
Sad. We're going dark again.
No, I'm so miserable. No, it's a tricky mix because we use it all the time, like Instagram and Facebook,
Yeah.
and obviously YouTube can never go away because it's necessary for your life
It's
and your
essential.
happiness.
That's what we call an essential worker.
It's an essential oil
Yes.
they can use because I just about to go bad again. Never mind. Let that go. But no, it's like but without the Facebook and the Instagram and the TikTok, we won't even count because that's like such a minimal thing for like the normal
Right.
guitar cast. But
Yeah,
it's
we got to
coming
stick
up.
with the ones that went away. If they had never turned on, that's our premise.
If they just never came back.
Yeah, they just never came out.
I think it'd be kind of fun to see what musicians did. And we couldn't create something to fill the void. Like we're pretending like in this universe it doesn't.
It's just gone. It's just gone.
And no one's gonna be like, oh, we can have Facebook 2.0.
I believe that it would change also the way people practice and play. Because I think so much is geared towards right now a 30-second or a minute-long clip on Instagram. And I'm guilty of this, you know what I mean? To sit down and...
Are you really?
Probably. Oh. You know, I mean, because I do put a lot of little... I mean, and I try to be good about when I post little clips, they're just a minute. Or sometimes I'll post the whole 10-minute ridiculous thing on Instagram TV. But, you know, it's just a minute of something I've done. But I think a lot of people sit and they play for an hour to get this 30-second part. They put it on there.
We definitely don't do that at a casino. We just press record and we play and we hope it's good.
Right.
And that's what you get.
So when it's not.
Sometimes,
there you
sometimes
go.
it's not. Mateus Asada, he dropped out for a bit because he was like...
I think he said that same thing, right?
That.
He got into that sort of mindset, and that is a lot of stress. And then you got all these people critiquing your, 30 seconds of playing.
Well, I think it would... I mean, this is just a rudimentary and obvious thing. It would just give you more time to practice.
That's right.
And to play organically with other people, and you wouldn't be worrying about like the immediacy of that. You'd be worrying about the show.
And you would just sit around playing more naturally and in more of a flow, right?
You might learn how to play with other people.
That would be insane.
You might spend more time with your family.
I mean,
imagine like if you couldn't sit on the toilet and pull your phone out and look at like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever you look at. How much faster would you get off the toilet?
I think people used to do the newspapers for that.
I mean,
is it all guys sitting there?
I just always hated the way newspapers felt.
I had a Game Boy. Game Boy. Your iPod Touch.
Was that God that just spoke? That was really the God. It was a Game Boy Color God.
You? Yeah.
It was a Game Boy 3D. I don't know.
You have a Switch. I think there's a thing called a Switch. I don't know. I don't know.
Game Boy. That's intense.
Yes.
I had a Game Boy at some point too. I had Advance Wars. I love that game.
I never owned a Game Boy.
God, that was cool. I remember buying one.
Had one.
In my touring days, I got one just to have.
Oh, that was a good idea.
It was a good touring thing.
By the time I was doing that, we had phones.
I know. Yeah,
we had phones.
Yeah, and people still had iPods.
Yeah, no. We had iPods too. I remember I had the iPod Touch with games. But anyways.
There might actually become a scene again too.
That because you were talking the other day, totally independently of this, about how there were no scene-based bands exactly because of this reason. Because everything is sort of...
You don't need a scene anymore. It's all in the interwebs. What was really neat though, it just happened this week, is this band called Weymouth was playing at the Autumn Fest, which is pretty much you're playing in front of a bunch of kids.
Yep.
And like older people.
Yep.
And it's just not a place like you go like to have a scene or anything. They played a great show. It was tons of fun. Like Dustin's guitar works great. Falbo like crushed on the bass. Like I never thought that guy was an attractive guy at all until he had a bass.
Until then.
I think he's just the funny looking guy that I love, and he looks like but then Brendan, their singer, the drummer's great, but the singer, like he was a great show. But then Larry, a friend of ours, saw them, and he's like connected in the music scene. He's like, hey, he already reached out to them. They have no idea who the guy was.
No.
It's like, I want to hook you up with
who's
shows.
this old guy?
No, he's like,
what's he talking to?
He like plays with like the band, like with the guys from Pavement and all these other like sort of the kings of the indie bands of ever. And like you just saw him, like that's how scenes used to happen. Like that's what happened in the New York days and the LA days. Like, oh man, you guys are good. You should play the Whiskey Go Go, badass. You're gonna play the Viper Room now. You're playing like CBGB's.
Right.
Now you're playing the Mercury Lounge. Now you're playing like the Bowery. Now you're playing Irving Plaza. All from word of mouth. There was no like Instagram. Like how many followers do you have? It was like your band is good. This guy saw you. I want to put you in front of X, Y, and Z. Which is actually a band, I think, too. I didn't mean to make that joke.
And I mean, in the system that you're describing, like how you actually sounded live and your music would be a big thing, where now you can sort of manipulate the system a little bit with your followers and how you make things look online. So it maybe would be a more true gauge of your actual talent, how much work you've put in, as opposed to putting in work to be good at the social media game.
It is funny, because you go back and listen to Lynyrd Skynyrd's first record, and it's phenomenal.
It's great.
Like how tight it is and how much work they put into that. How good. And then, but they could do it without like having to cut like 1,000 times.
Are you telling me they didn't use tracks or in-ears with guide things? Chorus in 4, 3, 2.
Man, I forgot. That would like, what's happening, God?
Oh my God.
God, Game Boy? I just get so confused if that happened. No, I think, I mean, it's obviously not going away. This is all fantasy. It's conjecture. We're stuck with it. And I'll find myself, I'll pull up my phone. I'm about to hit it. Because I always check Fender Custom Shock, Echo Park guitars, Vincent, Carlos, Ron Thorne. And I have a few things that I just check. And then I don't care about the rest of the feed. I just sort of have my things I look at. Rude Mood. I like that guy's stuff too.
He's
and
awesome.
Ohms in Hawaii.
Ohms in Hawaii.
Dude, that Ohms, that's it. But that's it. It's really all. That's all I can remember and look at right now. But then I think like I don't need to look at that. So like I'll go a day or 2 or 3 sometimes, and I feel okay.
It's kind of liberating.
It's okay. So I don't know, maybe
Sort of liberating.
maybe put your phone down and don't watch that. You know, I'm not talking about YouTube. You have to keep
watch
watching
your
those.
YouTube.
That's healthy. It's like your vegetables.
That's right. This is important.
How else do bobbleheads get created if you don't?
I don't know.
I'm gonna find out this mystery maker. Of
We
this
are
eventually.
absolutely going to find
I'm gonna
out.
do some searching and some sleuthing. I don't. They haven't told me the hints yet.
We're supposed to have a hint, but we have yet to see
Hint.
the hint.
Is ABL.
ABL.
Okay, that's that. We're not smart enough to figure it out. I'm thinking a blonde.
ABL.
I'll think about it. Don't think about it too much. We'll think about it later.
Okay.
We're not
All
smart enough
right.
to figure it out.
All right. I got some ideas.
Thinking on camera is bad.
I mean, because we never do that.
We never do. This is like brain diarrhea just coming.
It's sort
right
of the
at
way
you.
Bob Dylan wrote songs. It's just whatever happened.
You, sir, are a farce. What's that guy that like the Joshua Tree guy too? Like that yeah.
Bono?
No, never mind. Derek. Now I'm making fun of Derek's artist. I was just making jokes.
Graham Parsons?
Yeah, I was gonna make fun of him. He did the same thing. He did. Yeah, he did. You know that guy. Nobody remembers his name. It's just the Joshua Tree guy.
Joshua Tree Motels where he died.
Well,
Room 9.
I mean, when you say Joshua Tree, I think you too. But whatever.
as you should, because that's more important.
Whatever. I mean,
I was gonna flip him off. If we don't do that because this is a kid show. That's all. I just want everybody to think about it.
intro
That's we're done.
songs. That's not.
Think about it. And just
about
put
it.
your phones down for a day and like play guitar. Don't worry about what people think on the internet about what you play. Just play it. Like I certainly don't think about it. I enjoy doing it. I love sharing music. I love when other people share music. It doesn't have to be perfect. Most of the best music ever made is not perfect.
That is true.
I am a Zeppelin lover.
And it's
None of
not
that's perfect,
But it is.
but it's perfect.
But it's, you know.
Like we were reading some article about where somebody was saying like Big Fat Bottom Girls was like a bad Queen song this morning. I was like who wrote
Like
this
what?
article? Like,
Yeah.
This is one that almost ruined the record.
Almost
I'm like,
ruined the record.
It almost ruined my life if I never heard that song. Do you know how funny it is when you have a car full of 3 sons, 8, 5, and 3, and they hear that Fat Bottom Girls for the first time, and they find out it's okay to say that and call their mom Fat Bottom Girl? It's one of the greatest moments in life as a father. So if you have kids, I recommend that highly.
More parenting wisdom from Casino.
Don't listen to me. I'm done.
Thanks
That's it.
to
Go home.
All right, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Are we insane? Are we right? Who knows? Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you don't miss videos in the future. We'll see you next time.
Dude, I love Betty Cable.
Get on your bikes and ride.
I shouldn't have taken that pill.